Women, how do you feel about your masturbating? Please subscribe and activate the beside the subscribe button to get a notification. Share your own story in the comments section below. Mod note: locked due to rampant rule breaking. This is not a debate sub and other people's responses are not invitations for you to argue with or attempt to invalidate their answers. Please report all rule breaking. That's normal, as long as he's not choosing to masturbate over having sex with me all the time. This exact comment, if I found he was doing it instead of having sex with me, I'd be pissed. If he was doing it whilst I was at work night shift away for the weekend or whatever, I wouldn't be asked. Is he gonna let me watch? It's like, how do you feel about your breathing? I think it's a natural thing to do. Some people stop masturbating but it doesn't kill them. Yeah, it's more like, how do you feel about your scratching themselves when they're itchy? Providing it's healthy, I don't care at all, not like 4 times a day, or watching seriously messed up porn, etc. I don't feel anything. I expect him to. He's a guy with a healthy libido. I do too sometimes. Neither of us cares that the other does, since it doesn't impact our sex life in any way. I'm more concerned with people who don't masturbate. I certainly need time to explore my body alone, enjoy fantasies alone, and feel free to be my weird self with only my imagination, and maybe some porn. I want the same for any partner. I have a collection of toys. He has a collection of toys. Some we use together, some are just for solo play. Obviously there is a line where anything becomes problematic, but the 4-6 times a week we both masturbate are not a concern for me. It's not interfering in our sex life, and if anything it lets us explore things we might want to someday try together. I don't have any opinion. Are there actually people who have an issue with it? That seems insane to me. It bothered me with my ex, but that's because he'd masturbate for 3-4 hours at a time. That would piss me off because whenever I talked to him about not helping around the house, he'd claim he didn't have time to. It also pissed me off because our sex life was very unsatisfying for me. He could masturbate for hours, but would come quickly during sex. It felt gratuitous that he was not only the only one coming during sex, but then would also waste hours pleasuring himself instead of contributing to our lives. I think generally it's not the literal act of masturbation that most people take issue with, it's other issues connected to it. I had an ex like that, would spend 3 to 4 hours in the bath wanking off to whatever. It was really weird, and he would hide tabs all the time when I'd walk up to him when he was on his PC. He ended up cheating on me with several women from the red light district. Used to not care until I found out he did with his coworkers' nudes. Yikes, yeah, that's peeped up. Lil bit, about to be single. Men do, women do, so long as it's healthy and not creepy go wild. Like he's a human being with needs. Men should masturbate, especially when they don't have a lot of sex. It's healthy. Also, I get aroused thinking about him masturbating. I constantly try to get him to masturbate in front of me because it's such a turn on for me. We're working on it because ultimately I get impatient and one of us is going on top of the other, lol. Good, it's less work for me. Ouch. Maybe this is why I'm single. I don't care, but don't want to watch a man do it. To me, seeing a man wanking is the opposite of sexy. It's like watching a chimp at the zoo. Bleh. Ha ha ha, agreed. Masturbation? Who cares? Porn? Not a fan. It sometimes annoys me when I wanted to have sex and he masturbated and now doesn't want to have sex anymore. But that's a pretty rare coincidence, and generally I think it's fine and healthy. We often discuss the weird porn we found, lol. Oftentimes I'll send my husband a sexy text while I'm at work and he will masturbate then, so when I get home he will last longer. But that man has never not wanted sex. We have a quickie in the morning, so he can last later on in the day when the kids are at school. To porn, number, otherwise, doesn't matter. Amazing, arousing, nice to see, hear, happy, It's a nice moment of I can see. I guess I should state I'm male, but anyways, this goes both ways for me. Watch each other do it. If he's watching porn, that's a problem. Most men watch it, but that needs to change in our society if we want equality, because porn consumption has long-term, detrimental consequences to both men and women. Source: I'd be fine with it, like others, as long as it doesn't affect our sex life, though he's stopped masturbation because it had affected our sex life in the area of him reaching a climax when we'd have sex. I actually worried I was doing something wrong because he would never finish, but I would, and I'd try pretty hard and get nowhere. We actually figured out it was his death grip from watching porn on a daily basis before he started dating. About a month-ish after he quit, the results were very good. Normal as long as he's not watching porn. Same, and as long as it doesn't prevent us from having sex. Contrary to popular opinion, guys don't need porn. I wish he would let me watch. Hot. It's their body in it. Nothing wrong with, I don't need to know when or what he's watching, and as long as we have a happy sex life I'm completely happy. An ex, however, had a really weird fetish I couldn't handle. It made me upset every time I knew he masturbated. No need to explain, that was one of the reasons he is an ex now. Kind pissed he doesn't send me a dick pic. Opportunity wasted. This, like, I send you my tits regularly, hook a girl up. His body, his choice. Fine with it, but it really depends on what he's masturbating to, etc. Comments here really show that many women have not seen the other side of the coin. What they masturbate to can really kill the relationship. Yeah, I'm fine with it if there's boundaries on what they're looking at. Wasn't too happy when I found out my so had been using pics, granted not nude, mostly bikini, of some of my best friends and a girl at work he would hang with during breaks. That's actually disgusting, lol. I'd call that a form of cheating. I don't really care, it's natural. It would be weird if she didn't. Making a big deal about how often your so masturbates is pretty controlling, tbh. If it doesn't change our sex life, he can go for it. I mean, I do it too. I won't forbid it for him either. Just don't stop the other stuff with me, lol, and we are good. That's completely normal. Personally, I also like to send things for my so to masturbate when I'm not around, and I always love getting pictures or videos back. Let him go for it. What's not to like? It's healthy, it's hot, and if I'm the two, then even better. I think that really depends on libidos. My fiancé maxes out at once a week and doesn't really feel the need for more than that, whereas I have a higher sex drive. He doesn't begrudge me masturbating because it spares him in the long run. But if he were to regularly masturbate and stretch us out to every other week or even longer, I'd probably get pretty frustrated. He can absolutely masturbate, but if he starts regularly choosing that over sex, then that's going to negatively impacting our relationship. I've actually asking him to make me a little video of him doing so as my own source of amateur porn, lol. Don't give AFK, unless I'm at home horny too and he doesn't even check if I'm in the mood to, lol. Though sometimes you just want to masturbate, not necessarily sex, so I guess as long as we can talk about it, though I also encourage him to do it since he has a higher libido than me and unfortunately it happens a lot that he's horny and I'm not. Fine, but I don't wanna know about it cause I don't like porn in relationships, but ultimately accept I'm in the minority on that. Prefer if he has sex with me like I prefer to with him and he does. We only do solo stuff if the other isn't around. It's healthy and normal, but if it becomes so much to the point where it interferes with our ability to have sex, then we have an issue. Doesn't matter at all to me, sure, if he was exclusively choosing masturbation over sex we'd maybe have a talk about it, but I don't care if he masturbates, I masturbate too, It's normal, and honestly, it's controlling as peep to demand a partner never masturbate. You don't own their body, I just expect him to. Don't feel anything about it. Seeing as I've bought him pocket pussies to use, I encourage it. Let me watch, shut me out, use it as foreplay, or just crank out that daily stress. It's normal and healthy and hot to know that he does it. And on the same subject, don't think of me every time. Let Leah got your Emilacroaks or someone from Reddit take you away to another place where I'm not there. Porn only becomes a problem to me if he chooses porn over me when we're having sex. Thankfully hasn't happened to me before. Flying solo, go for it, buddy. Is it getting in the way of our relationship, or becoming a replacement for sex with me? Are they doing it to anything that's illegal, such as child porn? Has it gotten them in trouble at work or school, or in trouble with the law? If the answer to these questions is no, then I don't see what the problem is. I think it would be really inappropriate and unhealthy for me to tell him he couldn't, or to be upset by him doing it. It's his body. Unless he's hurting himself, I don't get to say in what he does to it. We have a healthy sex life, good communication, and just overall get along really well though. I am fine with it so long as it does not affect your sexual relationship. Hear me out on this. There is a subset of men that have issues with death grip syndrome and or porn addiction. They have conditioned themselves as such to only orgasm from masturbation. So when they have sex they cannot orgasm from a woman, often even from her hand, mouth, and certainly not from sex. I was in a relationship with such a guy, and the only way he could orgasm was to use his own hand. It was not a pleasant relationship. When he stopped masturbation completely, he was able to orgasm from oral sex and my hand, but never from piff sex, which was progress. But as soon as he started again, even if it was once a week, the same thing happened in bed, and unfortunately I was not willing to have a sexual relationship like that. With so much porn, men are masturbating a lot more these days, and as men age, they often cannot keep up with such a schedule and still have sex with their partners. I had never experienced this before. I was always cool with masturbation, never thought about it twice. So it can cause problems. And it is causing problems in a lot of relationships, so long as your partner is satisfied, and it is not causes issues in bed, no problem.